This is Things You Might Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and I'm coming to you live this morning from Little Rock, Arkansas on the 23rd of July, 2025, 5:37 a.m. on this thing right now. Thank you so much for being a part of the show for the morning. We're doing the live thing, doing our best to keep back into the swing of things with some changes going forward. If you've missed us before a while, hopefully you like what we're doing. If you're brand new, hopefully you'll like what we're doing. It's all the same anyway. Now, this is going to be 8 news stories from essentially yesterday, a little early today, if you will, where you deemed them as conversational. You helped us pick the stories by following us on our feeds we have on Facebook and X to sort of gauge us with social media and tell us what stories really were worthy of talking about. And we have a lot less things that are Trump like, which ironically enough, since all Trump stories are going back to Epstein, and we don't really do that much Epstein until we do. We have so many other things going on, including the passing of another legend, this one being Ozzy Osbourne. We'll get to him towards the end because we'll make sure he gets all the love and all the flowers we can throw his way going forward. Plus, we have some insights and introspectives talking up front about other folks as well, including Hunter Biden, who goes on a well, Biden, of course, and Coca-Cola. And that is a Trump story, ironically enough. Now, if you want to see more about what we do, as I said, we have feeds on Facebook and X. Follow those as well. Go to our website. This is the conversationproject.com. Get all the big beats on what we do every single day here. And of course, TikTok for hot takes, YouTube for hot takes, things like that as well. Also, our headline sponsor for the day is still Ground News. Get 40% off their Vantage plan and other plans using our affiliate link. This is the conversationproject.com/ground news, and get all the news you can stand, and you'll learn how to stand it because that way you'll get all the understand exactly how things are going. So as we said, we're going to things 8 stories that deemed as conversational with a big help from all you out there, and we thank you for all that assistance. Let's get into our first headline, which we've already sort of covered in hot takes overnight, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it now. Hunter Biden slams George Clooney and a few other folks as well. But it happened specifically at Clooney, the target of his ire, happening on a video on YouTube released on the 21st by YouTuber Andrew Callaghan. He did a couple more interviews at being Hunter Biden, but he basically is putting most of his criticism against his pops to George Clooney and his 2024, July 24 New York Times op-ed, which basically said Biden should drop out of the race because he wasn't there. The quote that's getting the parts of all of the ire, a couple quotes are, "What right do you have to take out a full page ad to undermine the president?" Adding, "F him and F everybody around him." Hunter also targeted many other Democrats who basically spoke out publicly against that, including one Nancy Pelosi and folks who were really, really obvious in the folks saying that Biden didn't have that fastball anymore. David Axelrod, another person there who got the ire in direct fire. But the big thing is that most of the actual push was towards George Clooney, who essentially was the rock that started down the boulder that started the avalanche that made things happen. Now, in my commentary last night, I basically said that Hunter should be the one to basically SDF up, and we'll see how that goes going forward. Hunter Biden not doing any love, not gaining any love, I should say, and doing any favors for his father, who's trying to rehab his image, and he's also not doing much favor in his own right as well. They should all sort of go away. The White House is dropping the Wall Street Journal over Epstein coverage. We snuck in some Epstein and we snuck in some White House and Donald Trump. Trump White House has excluded the Wall Street Journal, should say, from the Scotland press pool following the bawdy birthday letter story that was printed for Trump to Jeffrey Epstein back in 2023, or to be more specific, in 2023, a bawdy birthday letter was published from Trump to Jeffrey Epstein in a book for his 50th birthday party. The Wall Street Journal described the letter. I'm not even sure why they did it, other than be relevant, and but won't show us the letter. Trump says it is false. Trump is suing the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch and News Corp. And Press Secretary Karen Levitt said that the Wall Street Journal is not going with them to Scotland in a few days for that trip because the White House runs the press pool, not the Press Association anymore, which is why the White House runs the press pool and not the Press Association anymore. Pam Bondi removed the U.S. attorney replacement, and this From the original headline was so odd, so confusing. The actual write-up we have to give you here is also odd and confusing. But after New Jersey federal judge blocked Alina Habba, Trump's personal attorney, from serving as the acting U.S. attorney, basically replacing Habba with an actual person to fill the job permanently, Attorney General Pam Bondi fired her appointed successor. Basically, the person put in the job got bumped, and then Habba gets to stay. That person has a name, Desiree Grace Lee, to protest the actual hiring of a different person. Bondi condemned the judges, saying that DOJ does not tolerate rogue judges. Although this isn't so much rogue judging, as in Habba was set in as a filler spot at the time and was meant to be replaced by someone anyway. But we know how things roll with the Trump administration. Meanwhile, China is blocking some U.S. officials from leaving China. Chinese authorities have barred the exit of two citizens, a Commerce Department employee, and a Wells Fargo banker, reportedly citing criminal investigations. The State Department is acting what it can, engaging to see what's going on with the issue. But for right now, these two U.S. citizens are barred from leaving the nationwide confines of China, and they will be charged with something. And because it's China, the something may be a bit suspect going forward. We shall see how this plays out. This is going to become a larger story soon when some of the kerfuffle, a lot of things going to go down, we'll go over, and we'll have to deal with this one in a direct manner, and we'll get more stuff going forward to it. Check out more stories on this one because this is one that's going to affect all things, including trade and tariffs and everything along the way with that one. We're asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the Conversation Project. We ask that at this point basically every single day, but here we are because we really are in dire need of your help and support. Like the video you're watching right now, live or in the replay, and the algorithm should show it to more people, whether live or replays. Share it directly with people that you know so that they can get involved in the news. And as we're doing this news with less commentary and actually less details, hopefully you'll enjoy the speed and effort that we're doing to put it out there so quickly, and then making it a bit more pithy. So hopefully you'll enjoy that. And if you are not getting this and you natively in your feed, whether the algorithm shared it to you because they thought it was good, or someone shared it to you because they thought you'd like it, subscribe so you get it directly into your feed. When we go live for these things here, when we put out hot takes across the day, when we do other things going forward, subscribe to this wherever you're watching it. Also on X and on Facebook as well, because they are big parts of what's going on. They are our feeds, if you will. Subscribe so you do not miss out on the information, and of course, to the feeds for a chance to involve yourself in what we pick for our conversational stories. An anti-woke Texan went to Russia, and now he's on the front lines in Ukraine. Derek Huffman, a 46-year-old father from Texas, relocated to Russia with his family. He did this in March to escape woke America. He enlisted in the Russian military, hoping for non-combat work. He needed a job. He didn't really do very much Russian stuff, so he had a job. It was easy to take the job. His wife has reported he's been deployed to the front lines in Ukraine with minimal training, essentially a little bit of Russian, a little bit of firearms training, and he's on the front lines. This is disturbing. This is not a good story, and this will probably not turn out very well for both the family of Huffman and us with our relations as well. This is something that's one of those stories that are very, very hard to find. You get a piece of it, it pops up someplace and it goes away. It's not the thing that they're repeating over and over again on CNN this morning. They're repeating Ozzy Osbourne, obviously. But this is a story that it's a small one, it's a tiny one. It might mean more to you than you think, and it will mean more to all of us than we know right now when we get an actual realization of what Huffman is doing on the fields, in the battle lines, and whether he survives this actual deployment by the Russian army, because he's now a Russian citizen, I'm guessing, and in the Russian army now. Menendez brothers are in the news again, and they may have another way out of prison. At least Erik may have, as he's seeking release over a health condition. Of course, Menendez and his brother, Kyle, are both serving time for the 1989 murders of the parents, and Erik was recently hospitalized for a serious medical condition. Kidney stones is essentially what they say it is. Mark Geragos, his attorney, is requesting a temporary release or furlough so they can actually take him out of jail to deal with the medical issue. This will not be I'm released forever, but to properly deal with the medical issue for the moment. the release can come. They figured that out. We'll see if this one plays out, how well it plays out, and whether Eric Menendez will have to pass those stones on his own in his prison cell going forward. Donald Trump made a little quip about Coke going back to cane sugar because he did, because he does. So what's that mean for Coke? Coke spent a few days sort of not talking about it, like letting go, hoping it'll pass. But they have now announced Coca-Cola has now announced a new US cola version made from American cane sugar, and it's debuting in the fall, like months from now, adding to but not replacing high fructose corn syrup classic. So Coca-Cola Classic, whatever you call it right now, will still be there, but there will be a quote unquote Mexican Coke or a kosher Coke coming forward for American stores, marketed to Americans, marketed to the us's here. After Trump literally said, it's going to happen, and like I said, Coke was like, we're not really talking about it. Maybe it was already going to happen. Maybe they last minute put it together, but it is what's going to happen. And here was the issue about this: cane sugar and corn syrup. Different, very little nutritionally. So they're just as bad either way. It's just that we produce so much corn here in the States, it's a bit cheaper to use the corn syrup for sweeter things and cane sugar for other things particularly. And with that, the corn manufacturers, corn growers, I guess you don't really manufacture it, are a bit worried or were worried that with no corn syrup in the Cokes, they lose money. Now it's just buying a little extra cane sugar to make extra Cokes. So if you want that cane sugar Coke, go buy it. It's just one more version of Coke from the stores for you to go to and get to. They found out somehow to make a way to market 20 different flavors, and it works out for them. So it will work out for you. If you're looking for real sugar, cane sugar in your Coke, it is coming very soon. And finally, the flowers for Ozzy are coming from everywhere. Legendary Black Sabbath frontman who passed away just yesterday at the age of 76. Earlier this month, 2 weeks ago, he performed his final farewell show in Birmingham, his hometown, with his bandmates and fought through all he could to get this far in his battle with Parkinson's disease. From all accounts, it was an amazing show. Other bands were there as well as big festivals outing, and Ozzy was able to be Ozzy one last time for all of us to enjoy. Fans and fellow musicians are coming out with tributes. Everyone's sitting in their cars talking about Ozzy Osbourne. All the artists are saying great things. All the people of my generation and younger boomers, if you will, are talking about Ozzy's music. And in fact, CNN, as I was prepping this thing up, Ricky Rackman from Headbangers Ball is on to do his part, and of course, Erica Hill filling in on CNN is talking about staying up Saturday nights to watch Headbangers Ball back in the day, which is mind blowing and many if you think about it. But all the love, all the flowers, whatever type of wings you think Ozzy has earned, he's got them, and we are all celebrating the fact that he was able to do so much for so long after, of course, being a rock and roll star and being a reality TV star, and then dealing with Parkinson's for so long and having all his battles with sobriety and other health issues. Ozzy Osbourne is now gone, but will never be forgotten at the age of 76. Quick moment to talk about our spotlight sponsor, which is Ground News. Ground News is a great app, it's a great website, great service to help you get deeper in detail of the news stories that you may not be getting the full stories of. You may be a Fox News consumer and realize that the other guys are talking about the same things different ways and want to see what they're saying. You may be an MSNBC consumer and want to see what the other sides are giving to you on the same stories. Or you may want to see what stories are being not shown to you at all because because Ground News is your place to figure all that stuff out. They have great services that allow you to see side by side the headlines various news organizations are using, who's behind those headlines, like what companies own them, what companies are involved in there, and little clips and snippets of what the stories are entailing. So one headline may say something so drastically than another to make you think it's a more towards a left or right sort of leaning ideal, and you can find that in your own research by checking out Ground News. They also have the blind spot feature, which literally tells you what stories are not being covered by the left ring or the right ring in whatever going because They either want you to see more of the bad stuff to other guys or less of the bad stuff for them. You can see exactly what's going on. Various other features that allow you to see more of the news that you're missing from more of the sources you're missing from local, from national, from international, global sources. It's all there at Ground News. And you can get 40% off their plans by going to this is the conversationproject.com/ground news. This is the conversationproject.com/ground news. This is affiliate link. We get a small commission for you joining in on the band club, but we actually use this daily to check out stories and pick things. And sometimes I'll have a story that looks great. I'll go to Ground News and I'll look for the opposite views headline and put it there and sort of have people thinking they're going to one site when they go to another because I'm kind of odd like that. But if you want to get the full story or full stories, if you will, from how perspectives go, check out Ground News. Be like one of us. Be a news nerd and get in on this great deal. 40% off all their plans, including their large Vantage plan at this conversationproject.com/ground news. We wrapped up for the day. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, our second day doing the live thing and doing it on a shorter version as well. Looks like for today, we're able to clock this thing in fairly pithily, which is not quite the word it goes, at about, I'm looking at my thing and taking too long to figure it out, 16 minutes to the news. So thank you so much for joining us for this quick version. A little bit stretched than yesterday. I think yesterday we got to 15 and then I rambled for a bit. So as I said in my little short yesterday, we're going to stop over explaining and we're not over explaining. Join us for more of things like this live on our feeds and, of course, for replays on YouTube and these hot takes on X and YouTube and on TikTok. Visit our website. This is conversationproject.com for more details on how we do things. Follow us on the feed so you can be involved in the story picking, cherry picking if you want to be that way. And just make sure you're sticking around. Love you. Mean it. Can't do this without you. Literally, we'll try to keep the live going forward and keep it under 20 minutes as opposed to the old stories that went 20 minutes until we got to the ads. I think you'll enjoy that. Love you. Mean it. Say it twice. We're done. Talk to you later.